Some call her a myth. Some call her a monster. History remembers her as the Blood Countess.
She was educated, intelligent, but she also grew up in a world where violence was normal. While he fought enemies abroad, Elizabeth ruled their estates alone, with no one to question her, and servant girls began to disappear. At first, no one asked questions. Peasant girls were invisible to the powerful.
The castle stood high above the Carpathian foothills, its stone walls cutting into the gray sky like a scar. From a distance, it looked untouchable, ancient, proud, eternal. Inside, however, it breathed secrets. Whispers clung to its corridors. Shadows remembered footsteps long after they had faded. This was Choctishe Castle, and this was the world of Elizabeth Báthory. Long before she became a name spoken with fear, before blood and legend fused into one terrifying myth, Elizabeth was a child, born into power so vast it swallowed morality whole. A child of noble blood. Elizabeth Báthory was born in 1560 into one of the most powerful noble families in Hungary and Transylvania. Her bloodline was old, respected, and feared. Kings listened when a Bathory spoke. Armies moved at their command. From infancy, Elizabeth was taught one truth above all others. She was superior. Servants bowed low. Peasants lowered their eyes. Pain, suffering, and death were everyday realities of feudal life, especially for those without titles. Executions were public. Punishments were brutal. Violence was not hidden from children. It was part of education. Elizabeth was highly intelligent. She learned Latin, Greek, and German, an unusual privilege for a woman of her time. She read philosophy and theology. She argued with tutors. She questioned authority. But she also witnessed cruelty as routine. As a child, she reportedly saw a man sewn into the belly of a horse as punishment. Another man had molten metal poured onto his skin. No one called this evil. It was justice, as defined by power. And Elizabeth learned. Marriage without mercy. At just 11 years old, Elizabeth was engaged to Ferenc Nadasdy, a feared military commander known as the Black Knight of Hungary. The marriage was political, not romantic. By 15, she was a wife. Ferenc was often away at war, fighting the advancing Ottoman Empire. When he returned, he brought with him stories of torture used against enemies, methods meant to break bodies and spirits alike. Elizabeth listened. Some accounts suggest Ferenc taught her cruel punishments. Others say she already understood them well. What is clear is that during his absences, Elizabeth ruled the estate alone. She controlled land, money, and lives. And power, when left unchecked, begins to rot. The Castle of Whispers. Servants began disappearing. At first, it was easy to ignore. Peasant girls often came and went. Families were poor. Daughters were sent away to serve nobles, hoping for protection and wages. But rumors grew. Girls were said to scream at night. Bloodstains appeared in snow. Some servants were seen limping, scarred, broken, if they were seen again at all. Elizabeth's inner circle consisted of a few trusted attendants, women who never questioned her. They obeyed orders without hesitation. Inside the castle walls, pain became ritual. Punishments escalated. Beatings turned into torture. Cold, hunger, needles under fingernails, burning irons, freezing water in winter. Elizabeth watched. Sometimes she participated, and sometimes she smiled. The birth of the blood legend. The most infamous legend claims Elizabeth believed bathing in the blood of young girls would preserve her youth. Historians still debate this. Some argue it was a myth added later to deepen her horror. Others suggested symbolized her obsession with control and decay. Whether literal or symbolic, the truth remains chilling. Young women died under her authority, hundreds according to some testimonies. Elizabeth did not see herself as a murderer. She saw herself as entitled. In her world, peasants were tools. Their suffering was insignificant. Their deaths were replaceable. And no one dared challenge her. Until they did. The turning of the tide. After Ferencz's death in 1604, Elizabeth became more isolated and more dangerous. Without her husband's protection, whispers grew louder. Clergymen began recording complaints. Families demanded answers. Bodies were found. Eventually, even nobility could not ignore the truth. When daughters of lesser nobles, not peasants, began to disappear, the silence broke. King Matthias II ordered an investigation. In 1610, soldiers entered Choctiche Castle. What they found would echo through centuries. The fall of the Countess. Inside the castle were broken bodies, some dead, some barely alive. Instruments of torture lay openly, bloodstains the floors. Elizabeth Báthory was arrested. She was never formally tried in court. Her noble status protected her from execution. Instead, her servants were brutally punished, tortured, and killed for their roles. Elizabeth herself was sealed inside her castle. A room was bricked shut, leaving only a small opening for food and air. Once powerful, once feared, now alone. 4 years of silence. Elizabeth spent 4 years imprisoned in darkness. No servants, no mirrors, no audience, just memory. Did she feel remorse, fear, rage? History doesn't say. Perhaps she believed she had done nothing wrong. Perhaps she raged against a world that finally dared defy her. Or perhaps alone, with no one left to command, she faced something she had never known before: helplessness. In 1614, Elizabeth Báthory died. Quietly, without blood. Monster or mirror? Was Elizabeth Báthory truly the most prolific female serial killer in history? Or was she a woman crushed beneath power, paranoia, and political conspiracy? Some modern historians argue that her crimes were exaggerated, that rivals sought her downfall to seize her land. Others believe the horror was real and worse than recorded. The truth may lie somewhere in between. But one thing is certain: Elizabeth Báthory was not born a monster. She was shaped by a world where violence was normalized, power was absolute, and empathy was weakness. She became a mirror, reflecting the darkest instincts of the society that created her. A legacy written in blood. Today, her name still haunts books, films, and folklore. She is remembered as the Blood Countess. But behind the legend is a warning older than history itself. When power exists without accountability, when suffering becomes invisible, when humanity is denied, monsters are not born, they are made. And sometimes they wear crowns.